Welcome back to episode 31 of the Badgernotes After Dark podcast, part of the Big Banter Sports Network. I'm your host, Dillon, co-founder of Badgernotes.com. You can follow the podcast on YouTube at Badgernotes After Dark or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you find your podcasts. We got the A-team back tonight, which at this point is really all that matters. How we doing here, Brandon? How we doing here, Ryan?
Doing great, man. Whether you want to count them or not, the fucking tournament started. Great time of year. Weather's been pretty good in the 608 lately, so really couldn't ask for a lot better in life right now.
Yeah, I agree. You can't beat this time of the year. This is my favorite time of the year. I'm a big football guy, but there's nothing like the NCAA wrestling tournament, the men's tournament, the women's tournament. The women made, I believe, the NIT at 13 and 16, which they were one of the best losing records of all of college basketball to get invited. So shout out to the ladies, Sarah Williams. We got Frozen.
Dog.
We got men's Frozen 4. Like, it is a great time right now.
It's a beautiful time. This is my favorite time of year for sports. And I'm with you, Ryan. Love football. The Super Bowl is great. Obviously, all three of us love college football. But this time of year just hits different. I think it's because the seasonal depression is finally over. So that probably helps.
Yeah, and as far as seasonal depression goes, I think Wisconsin may have kind of worked their way out of a little seasonal depression during the Big Ten tournament.
Let's call it setup, folks.
Since the last time we talked, obviously they took down Maryland in their opening match. Was able to take down Northwestern 70-61 without Chucky Hepburn. Then follow that up with knocking off Purdue in overtime despite the refs. And I'm not even like a blame the refs guy. That was just fucking asinine. And then ultimately falling short against Illinois and, a really high-powered offensive game. So first I want to throw it over to you, Ryan. Ryan, where's your head at walking away from all of that? And, has it changed your outlook on maybe kind of what's possible here going into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, certainly it does. Like I was starting to think towards the end of the season, I just wanted to see good rotation and good basketball towards the end because you weren't winning a Big Ten regular season title. You weren't. There wasn't much to play for. Your seats kind of locked in. So I just wanted to see success in the Big Ten tournament so they can translate that into the NCAA tournament. Because I'm a big postseason guy, as we've gone back and forth. Big postseason guy, and Greg Gard, my man, like that is exactly what I've been looking for. I didn't ask you to win it. But just be relevant. Don't go home in the first weekend. And I mean, he did everything I could ask him to. Like, the boys were together for a little bit watching the Purdue game. And I mean, how many times did he draw up great inbound plays to get Chucky a bucket? There was another play, Max's play, to cut to the, like when it was nut cutting time. That's the kind of Greg Gard I want to see. Like, if that's the coach you get all the time, then he's the one for us. I think I always kind of went back and forth, like, what does success look like? Because we didn't have Big Ten tournament runs like that. But even though we didn't win, and this is a little bit of copium, even though we didn't win the Big Ten, I am more optimistic about the tournament than I've been probably since Uncle COVID came. Because, yeah, the Johnny Davis team was good, but it's always kind of like the woulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda versus this team. If they shoot the ball, they don't have to shoot it at 73%, but if they shoot the ball even somewhat effectively and they play the type of defense they've been ratcheting up, the boys can make a run here. Maybe not to the title, but definitely Sweet 16 or higher.
Agreed. Yeah. I think defense is key there, especially in the first game, because I think we give up the highest 3-point percentage in the entire tournament. And I think James Madison has like a top 5 or 10 3-point like make percentage in the entire field. So defense is going to be huge. But I'm with you, Ryan. I mean, I said in our DMs on Twitter that I know we've been arguing about regular season, postseason, what matters more or not. I was like, fellas, I've never been as excited for this Illinois game as I have for a Badger game in years. Probably since honestly, Kentucky NCAA tournament game. Like shit, like I was that excited for the Illinois game. Now, granted, we lost. It sucked. I thought the boys played hard. I thought once again we got kind of fucked by the officials, but I'm never. I hate to be a blame refs guy because there's always plays you can make to overcome bad calls. The Purdue game was one thing that was egregious. Illinois, it sucked, but I didn't think it was that bad. But anywho, I feel great. I'm with Ryan. In my bracket, spoiler, I got Wisconsin in the Sweet 16, fellas. That the postseason run made me feel way better about our tournament chances. And so that's where I'm maybe kind of losing some of my past arguments to Ryan because those postseason wins, I was like, wait, we're hot. We're fucking winning games in the Big Ten tourney. Like maybe Ryan's kind of right. I don't know, but I'm not going to turn into one of his cronies all of a sudden. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm excited, and watching the game at Pin Seekers with the fellas was absolutely electric.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Wisconsin went through. We don't even need to rehash February like that. That was disgusting. But the boys are healthy right now. They're playing with more energy, and like what Ryan mentioned earlier, they're playing better defense right now. They're not a great defensive team, like they just aren't. But even throughout the struggles that they had, like they have picked up where they left off offensively at full strength. I mean, this is their 13th in the nation in adjusted offensive efficiency. And quite frankly, their defense is ranked 48th. It's just not the standard that like we have had at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But when they're scoring points that are
good enough.
Yeah. When they're scoring like this as efficiently as they are in as many ways they are, like Chucky Hepburn has just been out of his mind lately, playing terrific. AJ Storr has been playing off of 2 feet more often. They've been generating a lot of attempts for him to get downhill, and like when that gets him going, like he's a weapon. Like all of a sudden he truly can become a 3-level scorer. And there are just so like Max Klesmit was hitting big shots like down the stretch. Steve's playing ball again. At the end of the day, like there's a lot of reasons for optimism, and I think most of them are centered around the fact that like they're looking like the team that we saw over large sample size that they can be, and they're doing it right now at the right time. And that's huge. Like I would say, Coop, that I'm with you. Like I do think that Wisconsin has a Sweet 16. Like I think it's very possible with the way that they're playing right now. I think that essentially with this offense that they can play with anybody. It's just going to be a matter of, do they make enough plays defensively? Are you getting to the free throw line? Are you take care of the ball? The same things that have always mattered. But yeah, I just think now they're a wagon.
We got a tough draw. Not gonna lie.
I'll be honest with you. I kind of have the opposite opinion. I know that James Madison. I know that James Madison's kind of a hot pick. As an upset. And being the 5'12", like all that. But James Madison didn't play anybody. They played 3 quad 1 games the entire. Like, okay, I want to step back. Let me give them their credit where credit is due. They went 31-3. Like, it's a tremendous season. They're on a 13-game winning streak. Like I hear all that.
Can shoot that shit, bro.
Yeah, but they're playing high schoolers. Like
they played 3 quad 1 opponents and went 1-2 in those games. And the one that they did win was against Michigan State on opening night, a team that we beat wire to wire.
Yeah,
on the season. Like I hear it. Like I'm not saying to write off James Madison that this is going to be a walk in the park, but the way that we are playing offense right now, like James Madison is an okay offense. They are not good defensively. They're worse than we are. And quite frankly, they're giving up quite a bit of size to us ultimately. And I think that's the big thing is Steven Crowell is a game changer. And whenever he has a size advantage, height advantage, he opens up this entire offense. And if they can't guard him one-on-one, like they don't have a prayer, in my opinion. I think that James Madison, I think that we're a tough draw for them more than the other way around.
I agree. And I'm thinking about Big Steve on Friday night. Like, I think we saw that their tallest guy on James Madison High School is like only 6'9", and Steve's what, 7 foot? Like this is the time, Steve. I'm gonna try to speak it into existence, because up until that Illinois game, I was 4 for 4 on my Wisconsin predictions. I was starting to feel like a freaking prophet. But Steve, how about a 2020 game? It's not out of the realm. Like,
whoa! I'd love that.
Brother,
I mean,
it's a joke. He's like what, 7 foot? He's already got 3 inches,
Yeah.
and
he's 7 foot with like a 6-inch vertical, dude.
Yeah, but that's still a 5-inch vertical higher than mine. But still, Crash 2020, Steve. I need it from you, big dog.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
Obviously, I think that right there is the big thing. Is like they have a 6'9" big man, they have a 6'8" big man, and like Tyler and Steve are both going to be larger than them. Like Nolan Winter. Even this is a game where a guy like Carter Gilmore, who quite frankly has played really well as of recent, like you can get away with him defensively, which is exactly what guard would prefer to do, in moments. And so I think that's going to give them some flexibility if they can stay out of foul trouble.
We have a 6'7" shooting guard, small forward, who can also get to the bucket too, so that helps. And I'm with you guys. Size is going to be an issue for James Madison. I'm mainly just worried about their ability to shoot the 3-pointer and if we can defend it.
I think I'm probably more worried. So there are really 2 things about James Madison that are like on my radar. Like one, Terrence Edwards Jr., he's a dog. Like this is a guy who is scoring.
If you're named Terrence Edwards Jr., you're good at basketball. That's just a rule.
Right. And he is. Like the Wisconsin, at times has had, like, it's tough because Wisconsin doesn't have an ideal person to defend a 6'6" wing who's a volume scorer who can, create a lot of things like that. Like, in my opinion, this probably has to be Max because I don't think you can feel good about AJ Storr defending him one-on-one. I mean, Wisconsin on numerous occasions, like, has put Max on Jamison battle at Ohio State and his time at Minnesota. And like, that's given up even more height than that. Like, I don't know what route they're going to go, but I think that he could potentially present a matchup problem, and less than like, not as worried about their ability to shoot the 3 as I am. They are really good at defending the 3. And obviously Wisconsin can be streaky. James Madison is second in the country in defending the 3-point ball. Like they're only giving up 28% a game. And
Did not know that.
And so that's something where, like, as streaky as Wisconsin can be, obviously that's something that concerns me a little bit, but at the end of the day, it can be completely mitigated if our posts are doing the thing.
That's why I'm with Ryan. Like, okay, if they can defend the 3 but can't guard our 7-footers inside, then
I mean, Steve takes one bad shot, he's getting 3 rebounds on his own shot. So we're not hard to get to 2020. But even if old TJ Buckets from James Madison decides he's going to go out there and just score a ton, Buddy can go for 35 and we could still win 80-50. So, I mean,
I feel you on that. Yeah,
we score enough in the mid range. Like, you take away the 3. Well, we had 2 whole months where we couldn't hit a 3 anyway, and we were playing much, much, much steeper competition. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if the boys only shoot, 10 threes and just pound the low block. Because, like you said earlier, between Nolan Winter, Tyler Wall, and Steven Kraut, them boys better eat. Because if you don't eat against an undersized team, like, you're not going to do it against Duke. Duke is not the Duke of old, but they have size. So it's like, if you're going to get those big guys involved and get them revved up, and almost like, I don't want to disrespect James Madison too much. I already took a shot and called him a high school. But at the end of the day, like, anybody can lose to anybody. But if you're going to get kind of like this exhibition warm up to make a run, get those big guys involved.
And I'm worried about playing Duke. Also would be concerned about playing Vermont in the second round too, if they win. Vermont's a good program. I think James Madison's good. You guys know I love the Sun Belt Conference.
This is true. This is Belt back.
Yeah.
Isn't James Madison North? The Sun Belt. What even conference are they from? Are they really from the Sun Belt?
They are in football, at least. But yeah, I think they are in basketball too.
Right.
Yeah. Shout out Sun Belt, dude. I think, like I said, I think this is a tough draw for the Badgers. 5-12, it's always, that's a team that could beat us. If the Badgers win by 15, I wouldn't be shocked. If we lose by 5 or less, I also wouldn't be shocked, I guess. But in the end, fuck James Madison, the university. Fuck James Madison, the president. I'll never forgive you for the War of 1812, you fucking bitch.
Boy, I point blank period.
Come to Badgernotes for some basketball recaps. Stay for a history lesson.
Yeah, I think just to echo one of Ryan's points, I think that Wisconsin is the best version of themselves when they are closer to that 3-point number being around 10, because that means that they are getting the ball down low. That means they're getting to the cup, like getting to the free throw line. Like I think that's the best version of them when it just is a complement to everything else they're doing. And right now, I feel too good about what they're doing offensively. For this matchup, I like a lot of the things that we bring to the table, and I think that think they're gonna have I think they're gonna have troubles with us. I don't know that I feel like we're gonna walk in and blow them out or anything like that, but I don't think I'm horribly worried in round one. It's kind of where I'm at.
I think one thing that could really help us this tournament is Big Steve's ability to pass the ball from the block. A lot of the teams, I feel like the Big Ten, like we got a lot of big, like 7-footers who are pretty decent passers. So I feel like a lot of conferences maybe aren't used to that, especially the mid majors. But I think Big Steve's like an elite passer for a big guy, and I feel like that could give some defenders some fits, especially guys who are smaller than him, like James Madison, 6'9" center. Like he can clearly see over you and see the whole court and just get better angles on everything. So,
well, and he's going to draw double teams too. So not only is he bigger than the person, you're going to have a lot of those guards trying to reach down, and you're going to get a lot of wide open threes. So whether you make them or not is going to be its own story. But Steve is, like you said, Steve's a great passer. He can get the ball back out, but I don't want to settle for like 23s. Get it in there. Let the big dog get his lunch pail.
That's not what I'm saying. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I don't want him to be deferring the pass because it seemed like sometimes late in the season, it felt like the ball got in and he was quick to get it back out. And it's like, no, Steve, you got to eat for a little bit. Get rid of it when you need to.
Well, I feel like his ability, too, to pass to like a backside cutter when he's on the opposite block is huge. Because guys, I mean, Max Klesman, his movement without the ball sometimes is just incredible getting through the lane. And same with AJ, too. And a guy like AJ, if you give him the ball within 5 feet from the basket, obviously he's always got a chance. So
he's jamming
it. Yeah. I think Big Steve's like passing could be a huge role, too.
Also, if there's one thing that I just could wish and pray for in this NCAA tournaments, that AJ Storr does throw it off the backboard to himself and does dunk it in real time. Like I want that so bad. He's tried twice this year. That's 2 more times than I've ever seen as a Wisconsin basketball fan before this year. So just want to say, big fan of that. Love it. Absolutely love it.
We talked about it at work. I was like, what if he just went like 2005 NBA Live and threw it off like the fucking shot clock and went double between the legs or some shit like that?
I'm not ruling it out.
I can see him doing that. That would logically check out.
Yeah, Greg had a line this week during his press conference that kind of stuck out to me. He was talking about AJ, and like I think that this has been I think everyone knows this has been a really unique relationship. Obviously, we haven't yes, we had a player like him and Johnny Davis in terms of some of the things that they could do, but also Johnny
never had a guy like this.
Johnny wasn't this athletic, but Johnny was also more refined. So with AJ, like you're seeing moments of brilliance, knowing what he can be or whatever. But obviously, this has been a really mutually beneficial relationship. And Guard said that, talking about AJ, he has a unique talent and he does some things that you can't teach. He said there's a line that you got to let him roll a little bit and just provide some guidance. And it says that he appears, extremely appreciative for the growth he's had because they've coached him really hard and he's been receptive to it. And he feels that he's been our most improved player this season. And quite frankly, I agree from where he started night one until right now. Like there's been a lot of bad habits that he's been trying to break. And I sincerely believe he's a more complete basketball player as a whole, entering or at the exiting this season than he was entering. And so, for all the things good, bad, otherwise, like his usage rate is incredibly high. And I think, AJ's really blossomed here at Wisconsin. And, it's been a treat to watch that evolution.
Yeah. His 3-point shooting has been great, especially in the Big Ten tournament, a little late down the stretch. And then just one quick thing. That man made himself a lot of money last weekend.
Yes.
A lot. Yes. Probably from a different school. But wouldn't blame the guy. I hope he stays, but would never blame him if he leaves for more money. But
take care of your own, however that comes.
Yeah, we were
He's
talking
got
about on Saturday.
7 siblings.
Yeah, it's like every dunk or every like long three he makes, it's like, oh, that's another $100,000. That's
Yeah.
another 100. It's just he was just unbelievable there during that tournament run. It's well needed. He could have been if they okay. So I don't want to go back in the way back machine, because we need to move on. But the Badgers win that tournament. Is he the most outstanding player?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
I don't think it's that close, right? It's him or Chuck, but I would imagine.
Pretty sure Store averaged like 22 point something points a game. He was awesome.
It's AJ Store.
Yeah,
right. I just think he's only a sophomore, and it's like we're in the one and done or two and done or transferring to all this stuff. Imagine if just he has 2 more years of development, what he could be. Now, obviously, that's asking a lot in this era and with the NBA, but just in my mind, in my fantasy world, I just think like imagine AJ as a senior. Got more defensive, got some more offensive game. Just the things he could be at Wisconsin and how he'd be remembered. It's just it makes me daydream.
Yeah,
I feel like
he's a blast to watch.
Oh, go ahead. I feel like he's like Jaime Jaquez Jr., where he'd be a guy who'd benefit for staying in school for 4 or 5 years and then going to the pros. But I love AJ. I hope he stays. I replied to one of his tweets telling him I would sell whatever amount of drugs it took to keep him at Wisconsin. So
didn't catch that, but thanks for doing
the
part.
Hey man, I'm trying to help the community out here.
Hey, as soon as April hits, we're only going to be drinking, Varsity Golden Ale from here on out. Like at the end of the day, I'm not even going to go off on this tangent, but I've been doing some deep thinking about this, and if as a state collectively we can come together, knowing that a portion of these proceeds are going to be, put into, actually, paying these athletes and, keeping talent in house. What's stopping us from becoming the next Alabama on the football field and Kentucky on the basketball court? If we put our minds to this shit,
I'm telling you,
there's no parameters on what this could be. We could be a program by this time next year.
I could turn into our biggest NIL donor once this comes out. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. We've got a lot of big things to hit on here, and we're trying to make this a quick hitter, but yeah, just wanted to put that out in the world. I see big things in our future if we all do our part. So we're gonna move on, fellas. We're gonna push some positivity here. Ryan, who's your big dog of the week?
Yeah, so just kind of checking in from last week. We checked in with our missing comrade here, the fourth leg of our chair here. We did check in with him. He has not been compromised. He's still doing well on the 60 days, and we put some good money on his books, so he's in honey bun heaven. As Dillon West has told us, who's a knower of all, that honey buns are like the most big currency in jail. So we just imagine he's sitting on a throne of excellence. Just I'm not sure which jail he's at, but just king of the jail right now. So big dog of the week. He's only in there a week and now he's running stuff. Salute to Jay for being the king of the jail, brother.
I snuck him in some Quick Trip mini tacos too. So
you gotta love to see it.
Got to do what you got to do for the boys, man. I'm here to put on, dude.
Yeah, shout out Jay. We miss you. We look forward to hopping back on, but hopefully not too soon because still got a long road ahead. Coop, who's your big dog of the week?
I got a couple. We'll do quick hitters here. Number one, Dillon graciously invited some of the fellas out to Pin Seekers to get together before the game to hit some balls, and we watched the game together. It was a great time. It was nice to meet everyone in person. But Ryan, big fucking dog. This dude either off the tee, this dude's either hitting it 56 feet or 340 yards. So
that's a fact. And it turns out that I missed all of the shitty ones. Every time I turn around, he's looking like that Mike Trout video.
Bombing them down the fairway. Would be a perfect scramble partner. So big dog Ryan, who could absolutely fucking nuke him. I think. What did you hit? Did you hit 340?
It was technically it was like the long drive thing. So it said it was out of bounds, but it was 346.
Yeah, nukes, dude. I was like, holy.
But yeah, I mean, even 50 feet is pretty gracious. Some of those barely skim the top of the awning. Defeat with the roll.
Some are real bad, but when he squares one up, dude, whoo.
Yeah, I'm a big home run or strikeout kind of guy.
Yeah. Hey, I love it out of you. Second big dog of the week. I just want to send thoughts and prayers, T's and P's out here to our boy Young Thug. There was some news that came out today. This trial that started 5 months ago is expected to take 3+ years. They still have 350 plus witnesses who haven't testified for the state. So, Young Thug, brother, you're gonna have to be pushing that P for a long, long time, my man. And you're probably gonna have to start pushing penis soon to make it by in jail. But
sounds like our boy got sloppy.
Yeah, free Thugger, man. I don't know. And dude, he's gained like 35 pounds since he's went into jail. Dude, what happened? You got that commissary money, boy?
There's a difference though. In jail, you're not getting any time to work out. There's no equipment, nothing. You don't get any of that till prison. So he's going to become
in prison now. But yeah. And then next one up here. Yeah, next one up. Dan Monson, who is the coach at Long Beach State, big dog of the week. Motherfucker got fired before the conference tournament. And they're like, well, you can finish out the season. Won the fucking conference tournament. So now they're in the NCAAs. Shout out Dan, awesome. Big dog. And then he told the reporters today that he's doing this for free, so he doesn't have to answer any of their questions, and said his life was like a Seinfeld episode. So I love this guy. And then last big dog of the week, I am so glad Ryan sent this to the group chat because I missed this on Instagram. James Winston was going absolutely nuts during a sermon at a church. Who knows what date? Who cares what it is? My love for James runs so deep. So I was very glad to see this. I mean, he inspired me. And then he also said we need to be on fire for Jesus. So it was a wild speech as he was holding a child, which I'm gonna throw out there. Doubt it was his.
Not his child.
There's no way.
No chance. None.
So those are my big dogs of the week.
I'm gonna make mine real short and sweet. I'm gonna go big dogs plural, but it's just gonna be one team. I'm giving my big dogs of the week to Wagner, 16 seed Wagner.
Hell yeah.
The more I've learned about their story, just the more wild this shit is. Like they're playing in the NCAA tournament tomorrow afternoon with 7 healthy basketball players, and they haven't had enough healthy basketball players to have to have a full practice. Since December, they have not been able to run live drills 5-on-5 in practice. And they, with 7 people, have made it to the NCAA tournament. I've never seen these guys play. I won't pretend to know anything about them beyond those narratives. Those are some big dogs, man. Those guys have got grit, and I'm here for it. Gritty, not pretty. I would love to see Wagner advance. Just a wild story. I mean, you don't got enough guys. You have full practice for months.
That's insane, dude.
And with 7 guys, you're dancing. Big dogs of the week. So we got a special treat for y'all that we're going to end the show with. So we have one more segment before we get to that. We are going to do what are we doing here? Moment of the week. I'm going to pass that over to Ryan. And then we'll get into our special segment to end the show.
Hell yeah.
Well, I want to put a disclaimer out there that my opinions are my opinion only, not supported by Badgernotes or any of its affiliates. And I'm pro protecting victims, and I don't like to make a mockery out of real trials and tribulations that people go through, real hard times that people face. However, I'm trying to figure out, what are we doing here, Big Ten? Shutting down the Wisconsin band chanting "No means no."
Yep.
To Terrence Shannon Jr. Just Google Buddy's name and see why they're chanting "No means no." The idea that they can just come over there and threaten expulsion from an arena for a "No means no" chant, maybe it's just a friendly reminder. I mean, I'm not saying allegedly. I don't want to get the show canceled.
He's innocent. Right now, he's innocent
until proven guilty. However, he is charged with in Kansas, was literally suspended by his team and was reinstated, and we're going to pretend like this guy isn't facing real life grown up charges. So when you're chanting no means no, a pretty benign chant. I mean, I've heard a lot worse. Like I was telling the boys earlier, good thing that this Big Ten official that shut this down was not in the Wisconsin student section for the 2011 Penn State game, days after Joe Pa and Jerry Sandusky stuff, because you would have heard a lot worse. And that was amplified. The crowd was loving it. So the idea that we're just going to shut it down, it's like, we don't live in a kindergarten society. If he feels that his feelings are hurt by saying no means no, then we got more problems at hand. So Big Ten, whoever shut that down and threatened the band that they were going to get kicked out, what are we doing here? Like, let them cheer whatever they want. It wasn't vulgar. It wasn't racist. It wasn't profane. It wasn't derogatory. Is that what we're going to do now? We're going to start limiting no means no. Could just be a gentle reminder. What do you got, Coop?
I mean, I'm with you. Obviously, the Terrence Shannon Jr. I know, obviously, some of the stuff around that. Don't know the whole story, so I would never, I'm not accusing the guy of being guilty or not, but you get charged with some shit like that. Any chant by a student section or a band to me is fair game, as long as, like you said, it's not derogatory. There's like, they didn't curse. It wasn't racist. It wasn't sexist. Like, what rule did they break? Like, you're allowed to bust. I shouldn't say busting balls, but bust a guy's balls if he's facing some charges. Like, you're allowed to fucking talk shit to him if he's facing charges like that. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's got to deal with that shit. And like I said, I don't want to get into the whole legal situation. Obviously, you hope for that he didn't do anything wrong, because that would be the best case scenario for everyone. But just never a good look for the person or the team or any team going up against them, because then you get people like the Big Ten officials who'd be like, well, you can't do that. It's like, well, he probably couldn't have done what he allegedly did either. So,
yeah, that's my big thing. It's like, if you don't want him chanting it, maybe make some better choices. Like, I get that the Big Ten didn't want that to be a distraction, but you think in the NCAA tournament you're going to be able to mitigate what student sections and people chant? You get to, like, all you do is create more fire for it, because now it's like there are so many people on Twitter. It's like, why can't they say that? And it's like, I did the Lord's part. I was making sure to put in the CBS link in every tweet that I could. But yeah, just even making him the most outstanding player. I had made a comment that he's going to be the most outstanding player in Douglas County Courthouse in Kansas. And someone's like, you can't just assume that he's guilty. I was like, I didn't say it was, but unless any Jayhawks or Kansas City Chiefs are pending charges in May, he will be the most outstanding player in that courthouse in May. So,
yeah, it's just, obviously it's a delicate situation, but I thought it was an overreaction.
100%.
Yep.
My quick, what are we doing here? One of the guys who works with me he let me plug my phone in to his charger in the locker room yesterday, and I left work at like 5:30 yesterday, so it was second shift and like the last of our people who were kind of like split shifts. But anyway, I unplugged my phone. I left his charger on the wall like an idiot. I should have put it in his locker. Get to work this morning, and his charger's gone. Someone took his charger. And I was like, well, fuck. All right. I was like, well, you know what? I mean, I'm a big shooter. I'm a manager there. I was like, I'm going to do some locker inspections here, fellas. See if anyone's got his charger. So I was starting to look through the people's lockers who got there. And the first locker I went up to was one of our coworkers. His name was Devontae. And as I was opening it, the guy whose charger I was looking for was like, oh, no, don't worry. I've looked in that locker already. I was like, what? I was like, there were 4 people here last night, brother. Did you look in everyone's locker? He's like, well, no, I looked at his and another person who was not white. But that's it. I was like, do you realize what's kind of fucked up in that situation there, dude? He's like, what are you talking about?
Training for you, my friend.
Yeah. He's like, what are we talking about? That's what I told him. I was like, let's do some training here, brother. So we left it at that. But yeah, I was like, that's what are you? I even told him, I was like, what are you doing here, dude? He's like, well, he's like, I know they're the only ones with iPhones. I was like, and that may be true, but
perception is reality, my friend.
Yeah. I was like, what? So yeah, what are we doing here on that? That's just a move you can absolutely not pull. And now we are on to our final segment of the week. And I would like to put the disclaimer out there. My thoughts, views, opinions, expressions, whatever you want to call them, do not reflect anything Badgernotes believes in, nor the people on the Badgernotes After Dark podcast, nor my parents, nor my employer. So,
yeah, you just never love, sitting where I'm sitting right now, and having back-to-back segments where you guys just want to throw a disclaimer out before you go. That's just really unnerving.
Yeah, that's not great for business. I hear you.
But for anyone who doesn't know where this is headed, if you didn't catch Coop's hashtags, back by popular demand, we're going to have another round of Cooperlatives, but this is going to be March Madness edition. And so Coop is going to take us through the Wisconsin men's basketball roster, top to bottom, including Coach Guard, and dish out some awards.
All right. Well, first we're going to start with Coach Guard. Greg Guard, most likely to be Walter White if he didn't get cancer and didn't have to sell meth.
That makes a lot of sense.
He's the boring fucking old white dude. Like, I don't know. And then here we go. We'll start off with just a couple ones that I had to get something for everybody. Marcus Ilver, most likely to miss every single three he ever takes in an actual game. John Blackwell, most likely to be mistaken for someone who works at Good Burger. And by the way, I based all these. I just went to the UW Badgers basketball website and
I'm scrolling along.
Yeah, the profile pictures that they had on them. So that was Johnny Blackwell's. Chucky Hepburn, most likely to be mistaken for Josh Childress.
That's a name drop I wasn't expecting to hear today.
Chucky Hepburn. Most likely to be Gus Yeldon's Weed Connect. Nolan Winter, most likely to refer to his future wife as mother. All right, look at this picture, dude. Oh, fuck. All right, where do I want to go from here? Connor Sejan, most likely to be cast for a future Lord of the Rings movie. He looks like a token character. AJ Storr. I learned this today in my research. Do you guys know AJ Storr's name?
AJ.
If it's not AJ, then the answer is no.
It is not AJ. It is Ambrosino Jr.
I like that a lot more.
His name is Ambrosino, so why we aren't going by that is beyond me. But I got this information straight from the basketball website. But anyway, AJ Storr, most likely to have his name mistaken for a color white people use to paint their bathroom. I mean, come on now, dude. Doesn't this look how we painted this wall, this accent wall, a nice Ambrosino color? I don't know. Shit had me rolling. I was fucking high when I wrote that. But all right. Isaac Guard, most likely to make the roster to increase the team's average GPA.
That might just be a fact.
He was a Big Ten academic All-American this year, I'm pretty sure.
You fucking better be.
Yeah, right?
It's not like you're wasting a lot of time doing other things.
Chris Hodges.
He's hurt, okay?
Chris Hodges. He's about to be more hurt. Most likely to make the roster due to the head coach being accused of being racist. He's the token black guy. Come on, he's not good. Jack Janicki. I hope I'm saying that right, Jack. Most likely to be a super fan of Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, I was on one, dude. Luke Hurdle. Most likely to have had a hand in starting the Montgomery Riverfront Brawl in 2023. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was wild, dude. People were getting hit with chairs. Dudes were swimming across rivers.
Swam across the river from one boat to another to beat ass.
It was fucking wild, bro. All right. Stephen Crowell. Most likely to sell you a subprime mortgage loan. Yeah. This one you got to look at the picture that the Badgers have on their website for. Because I had a guy at work who looked exactly like this, and he did what I'm about to describe here. Kamari McGee. Most likely to refer to everyone as my brother while preaching that minorities are the true children of Israel and that they are chastised because God loves them and wants them to return to the original laws, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. If you're looking at this picture, you know it checks out.
Your work's a wild place.
It is crazy, bro. Tyler Wall. Most likely to learn Chinese before anyone else on the team.
It's got the Adam Silver meme written all over
it. Max Klesman. Most likely to have had illegal relations with his high school teacher with whom a rowboat could not support. Look at this fucking picture on the website, dude.
Just the detail of the rowboat.
Wouldn't she fit in a regular size rowboat? The fact you're not answering is concerning.
No, all right, no, she wouldn't. I knew it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, I got two more guys. That's what she said. Carter Gilmore. Most likely to play Shaggy in the next Scooby-Doo movie.
I could totally see it.
I like that. I like that a lot.
All right. Gus Yaldon. Most likely to think he's Shaggy from Scooby-Doo in real life. Gus Yaldon. Most likely to idolize Ricky Williams. Gus Yaldon. Most likely to go full-blown Frank to take from old school at a frat party.
Yeah. Yep.
Gus Yaldon. Most likely to roll the tape thing that goes around napkins at restaurants into a fake joint. Gus Yaldon. Most likely to be the best on the team at knowing how many grams are in an ounce, quarter pound, half pound, and a full pound. Gus Yaldon. Most likely that his profile picture on the Wisconsin basketball website is the same look he gives while giving his vinegar strokes. You got to look at the picture, Ryan. You got to look at it. I'm telling you.
You're going to kill me.
All right, that's all I got.
I was waiting for the Gus Yaldon uses his bus like a Grateful Dead or something along the lines of the bus. Oh.
Yeah.
Dear God.
I was at work today. I was like, how many more Gus Yalvin ones can I write?
I gotta just start sending you rosters and just be like, flame this roster and send
I'd love to do it, dude.
Yeah, you pick a few impact players during football season and just like each side of the ball and just fucking give them hell. Yeah, I really at 10 out of 10, no notes. Yeah, really glad that you were able to put that out into the world. My favorite part is that you never know. You have no idea what to expect. Like
No.
Absolutely none.
No one knows how this brain works, including me.
But we're gonna get out of here a little early, fellas. 45 minutes. For us, that's got to be
like record
episode
time
that we've done in like months. And so for that, we're gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for listening. Hopefully you made it this far. And the next time we talk, hopefully, we'll be looking at the second weekend. Hopefully the Badgers get